the time your work should be justified, right? And then you can also have a distributed kind of thing. It works in different settings. Then we can have the line spacing. So here you can use single line spacing. You can use 1.5, 1.15, 1.5, the double. And so you can also remove and add the paragraph before the text. You can also do some color fill. And then we have the paragraph list tool, which we discussed yesterday. And it's on. You can also toggle it off. For this particular part, I will talk about it later, where we do the insert table. So I'll use that part later. I think there's also the sort, where you can sort the text based on how they appear, either ascending or descending. Okay. So here you see that the numbers come before that I sorted in a certain way. Okay. So move on to the next part, which is insert. So the first thing I want to talk about is a cover page. So I want to insert a cover page. So most documents will have a cover page, the title, maybe the organization, who wrote the document and things like that. So if you look on the left-hand side, you see a cover page. So there are different templates of cover page that you can use. Let's try this one. So here maybe 2026, and then the document title is, let's say, my thesis. And then subtitle, maybe a master's thesis. And then my name. You can, of course, change your name to who is writing. So this is a cover page. You can also customize it by yourself and then make some other edits. Okay. Aside the cover page, what else can you do? You can insert a blank page. So let me demonstrate how to insert a blank page. A blank page usually doesn't have numbering. So before I go to that, let me do numbers. So how do we insert a page number? So you come here under the header and footer section. The header is this part, the part of the work that is on top, and then the footer is the one below. Okay. So that's header and footer. So I go back to insert, and then I do my page number. So at my page number, I can put it at the top, and even at the top, there are different positions I can do. I can also put it below at the bottom. I can also put it in the page margin and all that, right? So I prefer to put it bottom. That's what I want to do. So I've put in the header at the bottom, in the very middle. So let's say I have more than one page, right? So for now, I'll just do it like this. I'll use a better system to show you later. Okay. But for now, let's say I have 5 pages in my work, right? Then I go to insert and I want to insert a blank page after the first page, right? So I'll keep it here after the last text and I'll insert the blank page. Okay. So I have a blank page just after oh, here I have 2 blank pages. I did it twice, so. Okay. So that's a blank page. You can insert a blank page here. And then we also have page break. So page break meaning that whatever formatting that has been done before the page break should not affect the rest of the work. I'll repeat. So let's say I have a certain style, certain formatting in terms of the layout of the page and everything, especially the page. But I'm moving to another page where I don't want that same approach or the same layout that was before to occur on the second one. So I'll give an example. Let's say I want the first page to be A4 and then the second page should be A3, right? If I come here and I go to um, layout, so I'm skipping a little bit, and I want to use orientation, I choose landscape, for example. You realize that all my pages will now become landscape. But what I wanted to do actually was I wanted only my first page. My first page should be portrait, and then the second page only should be landscape. Yes. So I'll do, and then I'll go to layout, insert the page break on the next page. You can do it on the same page also, but here I'm doing it on the next page because it's the second page I want it to be on. So once you see section break next page, I have to do it twice because I also don't want it to affect the third page. So I'll do it again. Next page. Let me check if it's there. Okay, and then I do the orientation as landscaping. So you realize that page 1 is portrait, page 2 is landscape. They are all A4. And then page 3 is still portrait as it was before. Any question? This is happening because I'm able to do the section break or the page break. Any question?
Um, I didn't get the header and the footer well.
I didn't talk about header and footer. I just mentioned their names. That the top part is the header, and then the down part is the footer. That's all I said about header and footer. I didn't talk about it deeply. We'll get there. The top part of your page is the header, the down part is the footer. That's all I said. Do you want extra information on that? Okay. Gift, your hand is up.
Please, can you repeat the page break again?
Okay. So I have no other text here. It's just one page. Okay. Now I want to move on to a next page. So I'll go to layout, go to break, and then insert the page break on the next page. So you click on next page. So now I have two pages. Okay. Now I don't want the format of page 1 and page 2 to be the same. So page 2, I want, let's say A3. Let me even change the size to A3. And then I have my orientation as landscape. So you realize that if I make it a little bit smaller, page 1 is A4 portrait, page 2 is A3 or landscape. If I want to go to page 3, automatically it will continue from how page 2 looks like, right? So if I want to make that change again, I'll go back to layout and make the page break on the next page here. So in that case, I can alter this one back to A4 and then make the size portrait. Okay, so
Um,
if I zoom in a little bit, you can see page 1 is A4, page 2 is A3, and then page 3 and page 4 are all A4.
uh, Sorry for asking. The second page break, was it done on the third sheet, the third page, or on the fourth one?
The first page break is to affect the second page.
Yeah, and the
Exactly.
second page break,
Is to affect the third. The second page break is to affect the third
the
page.
third. All right. Thank you.
Yes. You can do this if the page break is to affect the next page, then you say next page, right? But you can also do a page break within the page. So let's say you have, okay, let me demonstrate that. I have a 2-column here. Mm. Okay, so let me put a line in between there so that we can see clearly what is going on here. And then you have, okay, so let's say that the beginning part of my, like if you see a paper, you realize that when you open the paper, it's two parts. There's a left-hand side and the right-hand side. But after this part where the cursor is, I don't want it to continue that way. I want to go back to the old system, right? So I can still do a page break here and then say continuous. Okay, so once I do continuous, you realize that the top part is divided into two, but I can still continue writing like this and it will be like before. It will not continue like that again. Oops, sorry. Um, okay, yes. So continuous should not be, so I'll go back to columns and make it one. Good. So now I can type freely. Mm. Oh, sorry. Columns is one or two. Okay. Yeah, so this is what I want to show. Even in the same page, I can make two different types of page break. Okay, so let's say I want to continue again the double kind of columns, right? I have to make another page break again, which is break, not next page, so the same page, so continuous, right? And then there I can make the columns two. It's already two, so let's make it, yeah, it should be two. Okay, so I go back to the old formatting again. I don't know if this maybe answers your question, or maybe it's too much additional information. Any question? Have I confused the class? Please, you can tell me so we revisit it. Is it clear? Hello?
We're on point.
Oh, why? What's the problem? Seems everyone is quiet. Page breaks, okay? I'll imagine from a different perspective that you didn't get it. Okay, no problem. We can do it. Yes, Francisca, go ahead.
Yeah, so if I want to put the line across the whole page, like divide the whole page into two without breaking it into sections, how do I do that?
You want to divide the
Let's
whole
say I
page.
want to, yeah, divide the whole page into two
Okay,
sections.
okay. So you go to layout, you go to columns here, and then you do two or three depending on what you want to do. But if you want extra features, you can go to more columns and then choose which one you want. Let's say two.
Okay,
And then
okay,
I click on line between because I want a line to show and then apply it to the whole document. You can apply it to this point forward, but you can apply it to the whole document, which is what you want to do. Mostly some journals give you this template, so you can just do that. Okay, then I
okay,
start to type. So once I type all the things I want to type, the whole page is actually divided into two. If you look at the ruler, you can see at the top that there's a space in between the two sections.
okay.
Okay, so let me be
Thank you.
smarter. You're welcome. Okay, so I hope this
Yeah.
is what you were asking about.
Yes, yes.
Good.
Thank
So
you.
the whole page into that. But sometimes, let's say you are writing a paper, right? And then once you get here, there must be a figure here. Let's say figure one, somewhere here. But you realize that when you put the figure one here, it's too small. Okay, I can put figure one here. Let me insert a figure or a picture, normal picture. Let's see. Hmm. Let me find a picture. Hmm. Hmm. So I'm copying it to my desktop. Oof. Okay, interesting. Okay, so this is the picture I want to put here. Let's say that the picture is not so clear. If I want to, so what I want to do is to make sure that everything, that this picture is not separated by the line, but it actually covers the whole thing. So that's why I need to do the page break. By the page break, I'm
Okay.
not doing it on the next page, it's on the same page. So I'll go to before the text, I'll go to, or before the image itself, I'll go to layout, do the page break, continuous. Okay. And then after the figure also, I'll do another page break that is continuous. Okay. So here I would click on that side of the work that I don't want it to be double, but single, and I go back to columns and make it one. So you realize that I have the whole of this side for myself and I can make the figure like this. So now you see it's very clear. So maybe this part talks about the figure. This whole part talks about the figure and this part maybe explains the figure more. And then I have this part showing me everything about the figure and it's a bit bigger than if I showed it on the left. I don't know if this makes sense to
Yeah.
us. Yeah, sometimes it's very useful. Sometimes you have a table that the table is so long, it cannot be on only one part of the paper. So you need to do the same thing. I can just delete this figure and then insert a table just to show you as an example. Okay, so you realize that if I have a table of this size, if I want to compress it only to one part, you cannot read anything here. So you can do this continuous break and then you move on. Still, it's within the paper template that you have given you, but here it's showing the table and the picture very clearly.
Hello,
Okay.
Bruce.
Yes.
Can you just repeat the how you draw the lines in between these text? I missed this part because I was not here.
Okay. So I'll undo everything again and start from scratch. Okay. So I give to you before I'll come to you. Okay. So I have a text. Okay. This is the title of my paper. An analytical study of um, frogs. Very weird example. That's what came into my mind. Anyway, so here you must make sure that the layout here is one. So I'll go to layout and check if my columns are one, it's one. So I'm now using the whole page as one. So I'll center this, bolden it, and use my 16, for example, analytical study of rocks by Bruce. This is my title, right? So far, are we good? Are we good so far?
Yes, please.
It's one page. I've
Yes,
not
please.
divided the page. Good. So this is the title of my paper. My name, my affiliation will come there. and all that. It's at the top like that. Then now I want to do, let's say abstract. Okay, let's do abstract for an example. Abstract. The abstract of my work, if you see a paper, usually it's centered or maybe not centered. Let me use justify. So this is my abstract. And my abstract is about frogs. So I've said a lot of things about frogs. It's like this. Full stop. That's my abstract. Let me make the abstract a different formatting. Okay, so this is my abstract. And then now what else will come after abstract? Let's say keywords. The keywords are also there. There's frogs, there's animals. Okay, these are my keywords. Then now introduction. However, the journal says that it must be a two-sided thing, right? Within one document or one page, it must be two. So because the formatting here before the introduction is not the same as the introduction, I would have to make a page break so that whatever is above it will be separated from the one below. So I'll go to layout and then insert my page break. But because I don't want the introduction to go to the next page, I'll do a continuous page break. So not next page, but continuous page break. Okay. So whatever formatting is here, if I change anything here, it doesn't affect it. So since my introduction part and whatever has to be beyond that must be a two-page, I'll just go here and then I'll create two columns. You can directly do it here, but I'll prefer you go to more columns and choose two. When you choose two, then you can put the line between. It depends on you. If you don't want a line, just keep it like that. So I'll put the line between and then click OK. Once I click OK, I decide to type. So I'll type everything I want. Immediately, you can see at the top that my ruler has changed for that section. It's no longer, you see 1 to 2, and then 4 to 5 and 6 is all differently. Okay, so I'm typing my introduction, and then once I get to the next part, it would what? Create a line. Okay, so my introduction is done. I have my beautiful introduction about frogs. Let's see, on the first page, I'm still typing all about introduction. Once I move to the second page, automatically it will continue that series. But I have to show a figure at this side. Okay, so let it end and then I'll show the figure. In page 2, it's following the same format of the introduction. Okay. However, here I write that below, okay, figure 1 illustrates the situation of frogs in Africa, right? And then my figure 1 is supposed to be inserted here, so I'm inserting my figure 1. Imagine that it's about frogs. Okay. But I realize, okay, this figure is not so clear. It's clear here, but let's imagine that it's too small, like something like this. I can't see it. So I want it to cover as much space as possible, the whole page. So here again, before the text or before the figure, which is what I want to create a new thing, I'll still do another page break, go back to continuous, right? And then I'll make sure that that side column will become 1. And then now I can put my figure here like this because of the size of the figure. So let me delete something. Okay, so I have this here like this. Good. So this is my figure 1. And it's here as covering the whole page. And then I can also label my figure 1 here. Then, okay, now I'm done with figure 1. If I continue writing here, it will still have what I was doing before, because the page break was only to apply for the figure. Okay, now I'm on page 3. I want to create a table. Okay, so the question is, does the table have to fit everything or just one side? So table one summarizes the total population of frogs in Africa. Okay. Now my table one, if I insert it here without a page break, this is what will happen. It will just be inserted in a table, and then no matter how I make it big, it still does not fit within, let's say this is my table, right? You see that it's so small. Whatever text I type here is small. So I want the whole table to fit across the paper. So I'll just do another page break. So go back to layout, continuous page break. Okay, and then do another one after it. Okay, so continuous page break, but here I must highlight such that it is a one column, not a two column. So my table one is like this. So I can drag across and everything will look very nice. This is my table one. However, if I still continue typing, I'm still within the format of a double page, a double column on the same page. If I also want to still insert another table here, but I don't want the column, maybe it's just 3 like this, I can do it. And then keep typing. Any questions so far? Yes, Gifty.
Sorry, my question is not on page break, but it's something on I saw on the text.
Where?
Can you scroll upward for a bit where the figure is? Yeah, please hold on. No,
Here.
down. Go scroll down. I want the text where you wrote the figure one. Please pause. So realize that. Uh, please scroll up a little bit. Yes, please pause. So where you've written the figure one illustrates the situation of frogs in Africa. You realize that there are some spaces in between. The
Yes.
format looks a bit different than the situation of frogs in Africa. It looks like the spaces for figure one illustrate is a bit bigger than that of the situation of frogs in Africa. Or it's
The
just,
spacing.
yeah, the spacing.
I'm not sure what you mean, but okay.
So figure one dots, like the space, then one. The upper spaces
It's
look
bigger
a bit
than,
than the situation of frogs in Africa. The spaces are not the same.
let's see.
Mhm.
Okay. They are not the same. Okay, a minute. I'm not sure why this is so, but
Yes, sometimes I get this situation, so I wanted to know how to fix it.
okay,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
minute. So let me check my normal and then format. Paragraphing. Before and after it looks good. We can address this later. Okay, so I don't forget what I want to do. But
All right.
yeah, I get what you mean. Sometimes the text in between is not the same. Yeah, I agree. I'll find a solution to that, maybe talk about it in the next class. Okay. So I don't know if I've answered the questions about page break. And then let's say that my last page should not be double, right? It should continue flowing back as before the abstract, okay? It was like the abstract. So what I'll do is I'll do a layout page break. I can do a next page. I can do a continuous page. Depends on me. But here I want to illustrate the next page. So I'll click on the next page and then now everything will come here. And I must make sure that my column is 1 and everything I type now would not follow the order as before. It will just be just like the introduction. So do you want to create a change on the same page? Then it's page continuous, right? But if you want to create a change on the next page, then it's the page break next page. Does this solve everyone's question on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Now, there's also another part I want to mention. For example, some journals insist that you number your lines. Okay, this helps the reviewers also to track whatever is doing, or if they're giving a review, it helps you, right? So you just go to line numbers. You can make the line numbers in different ways, such that it starts from line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4 to the end of the page. And then when it gets to the next page, it still starts again 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can make it start from line 1 till the end of the page. So here is none. I can do continuous. Continuous means that right from the top. Okay, so let me do all and then do the line again. Continuous. Okay, so the first page, first line was line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. When it gets here, 23, it will go and start from 24 because here is also another line, even though it's the same page. So you do that kind of numbering. Or I can do it another way where every page it starts again. So that will be restart at each page instead of continuous. So if I go back again, you realize that here the start is 1. On the next page is also 1. And the next page is also 1. It restarts. Okay, but this will create confusion. So it's better you keep it at continuous. And then you can also restart at every section. Okay, so every section meaning that the first page, I had one section here which was the same. When I go to the introduction to start renumbering, when I get to another part, which is here also. So every time there was a break, it gives me a renumbering. And maybe different applications you may want to use that. But ideally, you should just use continuous. Any question? Any question on columns? I think I've merged a lot of things together. Columns, breaks, insert page number, which was what I was actually going to do, but I'll go over again. But for columns, breaks, line numbers, is there anyone who has a problem? And maybe let me add the last one, hyphenation. So some people prefer to hyphenate their work. So let's say that I want to write the word together. Okay, let me see. Together. And the more same issues. Yeah. Okay, so you realize that the together here has been hyphenated to show you that the word is continuing here. You can do this if you want to, but if you don't want to, you just not. Okay, so you just go to hyphenation under layout and you can do automatic hyphenation. Any questions? Create column, you can go to layout, column, then the number. If you are not okay with that, you can go to more and then you choose and then you can put in line between them. That's one way of doing columns. Then the line numbers, then the breaks. You can break within a page or the next page. Any question?
No, sir.
Questions? No questions. Wow. Did I manage to confuse you? Or it's simple? Maybe it's
So
simple.
please, I want to know when we are supposed to use the line numbers.
The line numbers helps another person to refer you to the work, right? And some journals insist that you must have line numbers. For example, if you send this work to me and I tell you that, okay, your abstract is spelled wrongly, like this. Then maybe there are so many words like abstract in the document. You ask yourself, which abstract is it talking about? But if I say, oh, line 9, line 3, line 4, check this. It's easy to reference that, right? So it just like helps you to reference it. But in some journals, it's a requirement. So,
Thank you.
but it shouldn't be in your final work, like your final thesis. During the editing stage, you can be there, but remember to remove it before you print your final work.
Okay.
Unless the journal asks you
Thank
to
you.
do this. Yes. Aside that, there's no need for line numbers. Any question? Okay, so I want to talk about page numbers, and I think that will end the class for today. Sometimes, or let's say most times, your thesis will have different types of numberings. The cover page is not numbered, so let's demonstrate that. For example, if this is my cover page, I don't want line 1 to page 1 as the cover page to have a number. What do? After I've inserted my page number, I go to page number again here. That is under insert, right? And then I have page number, and then you find here. This is how I inserted it, right? If it was not there. Then you can have different first, I don't know if you can all see it here. Different first page, different odd and even pages, show document text. So I can just take different first page, and then the line number on the first page will go. Sorry, the page number on the first page will go away. Let me repeat that. If it's unchecked, I have my page 1, but once I check the different first page, it means that I don't want to show this. And this is usually what happens on most documents. The first page is not numbered. That your cover page is numbered, right? But when you go to the second page, you still have your page 2. However, if I want to start my page numbering here, as in here should be number 1, what do? I'll go to page numbers, format page number, and then don't say continue from previous section. You say start at 1. Okay. So when I do start at 1, it will start numbering from 1 and not 2. Okay. No, I should do page. Okay, let me use a different document first if I confuse myself. Okay, so this is my first page, and then I have another page. Before I can do the different types of page numbers, I must do a page break. So I'll go to layout and then go to breaks and then next page. Okay, so I have 2 pages now. Let me insert my page number, bottom of the page, and then I have this. So I have page 1, page 2. So far, are we clear? Page 1 and page 2.
Yes, please.
Now, I don't want to number my page 1, so I would different first page, and then that goes away. So I don't have page 1 now, but I have page 2. But this is the part I also want to create a different system. So I'll go to format page numbers, and then I'll start at 1. Okay, so if I start at 1, then my next page should be 2, right? So I'll insert another page break just to give me more pages so you see what is going on here. Okay, so I have the first page is not numbered, the second page is not numbered. The second page is numbered, but it's not 2. It's starting from 1. And then here is 2. So what I can do is go back again, format numbers, continue from previous session, and then it's 2. But ideally it's page 3, but you can see from here. The first page is not numbered, the second page is numbered as 1, the third page is 2. In some cases, you have to do Roman numerals. So you go back again, page number, format numbers, and then I want to use the Roman number system. So I'll come here as I, and all that. And I'll still start at I. So let's say this part is I. This part should be I, right? So page number, format page number. I'm continuing from the same part. So it still be I. Good. Then I'll create a new page where I need to start from the Roman numerals. So I'll insert a new page here. Next page, let me create more pages. Okay, so I have first page is not numbered. Second page is starting from I. Third page is starting from I. Fourth page is I. Now I want to stop that I system. I want to start from my page 1 actually, which is my introduction. Okay, so here I'll not link to previous. I'll just go to page number, format page, use the 1, 2, 3, and then not continue from previous, but start at 1. So let's go back and check. I have my page 1, and then I have my page 2 moving on from there. Okay, so not previous page. Always don't link to previous if it's not following. So you can click on that, then you go to page number, format number. I know I'm going very fast because of time. I'm not starting at 1, but I'm continuing from the previous page. So it will be 2. Okay, this part was a bit fast. Hopefully you all got it. If not, I can repeat. And then that will end the class for today. Any question? First page not numbered. I did different first page, right? I can also different odd and even pages. So it only shows the odd numbers. Okay, so here you see I is not there, but since I'm still showing you, let me keep that out. So the first page is not numbered. The second page is numbered as I, the Roman numeral I, then I, then we have I, then we have page 1, then page 2. I can have page 3, page 4, page 5, and it goes on like that. Any question?
Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Doc,
Yes.
I want to find out with regards to this one. Sometimes the header and footer, you will need the two at the same time simultaneously, where maybe the header, the top one, on the top, you're putting maybe the school name or maybe chapter 1
Yes.
there before you come down the bottom to number 8.
Mm.
So sometimes maybe after you have numbered them and you are going to do those things, because you know that each let's say the odd page should take the school name and the even page should take your chapter distance. Sometimes you see that it will be affecting the numbers and the numbers will be changing. So how do you address that one?
Okay, that's a very good question. So let's imagine that this is every odd page will have our school name. Okay, so let's just write school name as our odd number. So that's my school name is here. Okay, this is for all the pages. You realize that, okay, let's say you have different headers for different pages. So this is my odd number. So school name is here. Let's see the different odd number doesn't have school name. Good. Okay, this is because I've created a page break. But if there are no page break, once you do, let's take a different document. Once I do school name here, This is a normal formatting. It's new from scratch. So once you do school name in one header, it will go through all the headers. So let me create another page. You realize that once I create a new page, we still have school name, right? So let's use this one example. Do we all follow? There are no page breaks. It's just a fresh sheet. And then my school name as one header is following through all the headers. Do you see it? Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, now I don't want this to happen where all the pages have the same. So what do I do? Okay, so here I have school name on the first page. Let's say on the second page, I want to create a different one. Okay, before I touch this header, I must make sure that I create a page break. Before I touch this header on the second page, I must make sure I create a page break. If I don't create a page break, it means that if I change the school name, immediately all of them will update to that one. Let's try it and see. So let's say chapter 1. Once I do chapter 1, all the pages now become chapter 1. Why? Because everything is the same formatting. Okay, so let's go back to school name. Now I want to create different headers. So I'll create a page break on the first page. So I'll go to layout and then page break and I'll say next page. Okay. So here I have school name as the first header. Now I'll come to page 2 and then do what? Chapter 1. Okay. Now once I do chapter 1, you realize that it's still what linked to the previous. Link to previous. So it will still change it. Can you see? But this is not what I want. So I'll undo, make sure that whatever is here, I will not link to previous, and then I'll change it here as chapter 1. If I go back, you see school name is on page 1, and then chapter 1 is on page 2. If I go to page 3, who can tell me what will be there? Will it be chapter 1 or school name? Who can predict before we go there?
Chapter 1,
Why?
because we've not bridged the pages. It's still a continuous distance.
Yes, but aside the breaking of the page, remember we did something here also, link to
A link to
previous.
previous.
Yes, if the link to previous is highlighted, it means that it's connected to the one after, before it. But if you toggle it off, then it means that you want to create a different thing. So yes, it will be chapter 1, not because only we've not created a page break, but because if you click it, you see that it's linked to previous on its own. So that's why it's following this. Okay. So let's say I'm done with chapter 1. Okay, now let's insert our pages, right? Okay, I don't want to save it. Okay, so school name, chapter 1. Now I want to insert my page numbers at the bottom of the page. Okay. Now let's apply what we did first. School name, odd numbered pages. Do we want to make it odd number? No. We want to make it not odd number. Do we want to make it Arabic numbers? So I go back here. Format page numbers. It's a I well, I continue from yes, this is actually the first page. So it's okay, so because I've created a page break on the first page, it doesn't follow through, right? So page break is to help me with the numbers, and then the link and on link to previous helps me with the headers. I don't know if that answers your question. So on page chapter 1, usually every new chapter should start on an odd numbered page. If it's your thesis, every new chapter must start on an odd numbered page. every new chapter must start on an odd numbered page. So what we have done here is actually wrong because our chapter 1 is starting on an even number page, which is 2. So what do? We leave the even number empty. We don't start chapter 1 on the even number. I'll take it again. If you are doing your thesis, this is for thesis, or yes, for thesis. If you want to go from chapter 1 to chapter 2 to chapter 3, make sure that your chapters are always starting on an odd numbered page. The reason being that when you print front and back, the front is the odd number, the back is the even number, because we start counting from 1 and not 0. So if the front is 1, the back is 2, and you start a new chapter from the back, it doesn't look nice. So when we are flipping the pages, you realize that the odd number will always be on your right. So it's more inclined for a person to read and see, okay, this is chapter 1, it's on the right side. And then chapter 2 is on the left side. Sorry, the even page is on the left hand side. So it's not good to start as a standard, to start a new chapter on an even page. So we leave the even pages empty, and then we always start on an odd page. I don't know if this is clear.
Yes, please.
Good. So what we have done here in terms of thesis writing is wrong. Okay. So we cannot start chapter 1 here. We still have to make sure we link it to previous. Okay. So I'm linking the second page to the previous. So it will be school name, but it will be empty. Even though I have nothing to write there, I'll leave it empty. And then when I come to this part, I remove the link to previous and then I do it as chapter 1 because I must always start my new chapter in a different page. So chapter 1 is here, chapter 1 is here, chapter 1 is here. Let me keep on going. I want to go to chapter 2. I can't start on page 4. I have to move to page 5. So here again, what I'll do is I'll not link to previous and then it will be chapter 2. Okay, so let me create a page break here. Next page. Okay, so I have chapter 1 here on page 4. I want to change this to chapter 2. So here you can realize that even the section numbers are different. So header section 1 is not the same as the previous. So I can make this chapter 2 and then I'm good to go. Everything else is chapter 2. It keeps on going. So let's start from the beginning. The beginning had the school name, okay, maybe your abstract, everything you want to say. It's I. Usually you start the number 1 from chapter 1, okay? So we've had this is not chapter 1. This cannot be chapter 1. This is the same as previous. So link to previous, yes. Okay, so the first page is school name, school name. Second page, school name. And then it should continue the numbering format pages, continue from previous, and it should be Arabic numbering. Okay, so the beginning of your work is always I, and all those things. Usually you start the abstract, you start in the Chinese system or maybe in another system. There are some things you do before you get to the abstract, right? All those pages, you don't number it. So the cover page is not numbered. What do they usually have? They have some things you put it there, the name of the supervisor, the topic, all those places you don't start numbering. You start numbering from the Chinese abstract. That's where you have your I. Okay, so let's say my Chinese abstract is here, my English abstract is here, and then I keep going. Keep going. Everything else has changed back to before. Okay, so I have I and maybe my abstract, I've put all my things there. Now I need to move on to another thing. Because I couldn't start on an even page, I'm moving here. So let's count. This is 1, this is 2. So this is an even page. I can't start here, but I can start here. So what do? I'll not link to previous. I'll change this as chapter 1, sorry, which is my introduction. And then my chapter 1 should start with 1. So I'm labeling it as 1. It's not continuing, but I'm starting at 1. Okay. So we are good to go. Chapter 1 is going on very well. It keeps going, keeps going, keeps going. Now I have chapter 2 starting on page, what page is this? This is, okay. So I have to make sure it's not an uneven page. So chapter 2, which is here, is actually what number? Okay. So this is page 3, page 4. So I can start chapter 2 on page 5. Okay, so it's on page 4. I don't want this. Chapter 2 is starting on page 4. I don't want that. So what I can do is stop it, link it to previous, and then let it be chapter 1. And then now I'll come to chapter 2 here. Don't link it to previous, and then make it chapter 2. And then you keep going like that. I don't know if I've answered the question or I've over-answered and confused. But it's so many things in one. Maybe I can go over this in the next class again. Page breaks are important to help us with the numbering. When it comes to headers and footers, then you need to do the link to previous and then don't link to previous, that kind of thing. Does it help? Or we need to do this next week? Which one do we go for? We continue next week or we forget about it because it has been sorted?
Doc, I think you have to go through next week.
Next week.
This thing has sometimes confusing.
Okay, okay. Okay, no problem. No problem. So we'll take it slowly next week and then
Yes.
hopefully be able to get it. I'll go as slow as possible. But so many things in one. Okay, so let's recap what we've learned today, which is quite a lot. We treated the file tab, we treated the home tab. Insert, we didn't finish, so I'll not say we've done that. But we rather went to more of layout, which was not the focus of the class. But we know how to do breaks now, either on the same page or on the next page. We can do line numbers, we can do hyphenation. And then for some headers and footers, we've not gone deep into that. So the homework for today will be that try and number all your pages. Just create a document and then try and see if you can number the pages. Let's say one document, you do it 1 to 5. And then another document, you do it I. And then you start the numbering from the 3rd page. Hope we can do this. This will be our homework. Try and play with the page numbers. Just give it a try. And then on Tuesday, we'll see how far you went. And then we'll pick it up from there. Okay, I'll take 5 questions. If there are no questions, then we can end the class. Oh, a lot of information. Oh, sorry. Next time I'll try to give it in bits. Okay, 5 questions waiting. So I'll keep it in mind that we have to do the headers and footers again. Okay, I'm writing it down. Any question or any special request so far? Something I need to reiterate. Do we need to do the 2-page column thing, 2 column, 1 column thing again?
Yes, please. Please, sometimes we want to try it on our own, but we have to maybe close the Zoom and go back and do it. By the time you come, you've already passed that
I'm
side.
gone. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we'll upload the video and then you try and catch up before the next class. Okay, so the 2 column thing should be repeated. Okay, thank you very much. I'll note that.
Thank you too.
And then headers and footers and then page numbers. Any special request or question? Give to your issue. Let me see if I can remember. Oh, just forgot about it. The spacing, right?
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay, I'll sort that out next to spacing
Hello,
between text.
hello, Doc.
Yes.
Yes, please. How do we say Microsoft Office in Chinese? Sometimes when I'm trying to explain to these Chinese people, it's kind of hard.
Every Chinese knows MS. Once you say MS, they know what MS is. Microsoft
MS,
Office.
okay.
I think MS is what
Uh,
we are saying. Yeah, but
oh, oh,
MS
oh.
is.
So like MS document in Chinese.
Yes, MS Doc. Yeah, they all say PPT. So if you say PPT, they know PPT. Excel, they know
Oh,
Excel.
oh, okay,
Even though
okay.
they are
Thank
more inclined to the WPS system, most of them are still conversant with MS.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I thought they had a special name in Chinese now.
There should be, but I don't know.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Welcome. Vivian, do you have a question?
Yes, good evening.
Good
Thank you so
evening.
much for the session. I would just like to ask, previously when we started and we were looking at the headings, we were trying to modify them and all that. I wanted to ask if, let's say I've already typed my thesis and I want to format them based on the different headings, right? I realized that when we were working, we didn't have to highlight the text. Yes, I want to ask, do you have to highlight the entire text to be able to apply the format to it, or like, you just have to click where you want it to be, then it will affect the rest of the text?
Okay, so thank you. This is also a very good question. You can just click where you want it to apply and then it applies. However, I'll discourage you from this because sometimes once you click at that side, it affects places where you don't even want it to affect. So for it to prevent any accident, just highlight whatever you want to highlight and then apply the setting. Because sometimes if you just click, it will apply it to the text you want and even text you don't want. You see that when you do the table of content, you realize that even the text is now a heading 1. The main normal text now heading 1. So better you just highlight what you want to do, that whole section, even if it's a whole page, you want to make it normal. You just highlight the whole page and then click on the normal. Then you are sure that no other formatting would interfere with what you are doing. So it's better you highlight everything that you want to apply that formatting to.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc.
You're welcome.
Well understood.
Any other question? Question, request, comments, because there's no... Hello, your hand is up again. Okay. Questions, comments, anything I need to repeat in the next class before we move on? Okay, so let me reiterate what I have here. So I have a request to repeat or to try and solve the issue about spacing between the text. And then headers, page numbers, and all the formattings there, we'll try and do it. And the 2-column thing, and then page numbers, is that all? If not, after this, I'll just move on to what I wanted to do, continue from there. Yes, page break, okay, page break. Any other? Clement?
Please, it's about my font style. You said I
Oh,
should.
yes. One style, that
So
is no
are
shame.
you by the name Frederick N.O.
Yes,
Cruz or okay,
yes,
okay.
that's my name.
I'll get in touch with you.
Okay. Any other question, any other request so far? The File tab, the Home tab, the Layout tab. This is what we have covered so far. Okay, thank you very much for your participation today. I hope we'll meet each other next week, Tuesday, same time, 7 to 9. All right, have a great week and good night.